It is welcome indeed. It is welcome back to local racing after a couple of days of a break after Sunday racing in a KZN. We're back at Greyville. This time we're on the Polytrack, and it's a bumper 9-race program that awaits us as of 12 o'clock, which means that Bipot will start in the second, and whilst they're not the biggest of fields generally, it is as competitive as ever in KZN. We look forward to a valuable input from our analyst, Mr. Len Mayhew. So 12 o'clock is the off time to that first of our 9 races. I think shortly we shall be hearing from Len as of race 2, which is where the Bipot begins. It is an apprentice maiden, which certainly has a couple of established names, including champion apprentice from 2024, 2025, Brevin, who is going to be riding the first time to Outrun the Rain for the Hollywood. But without further ado, let's get straight down to the business that you are awaiting, and that is Len Mayhew. Len, very, very, very wonderful to speak to you again, and looking forward to working with you for the next hour or so.
Good morning, Cecil. Yes, nice to see you back in the studio again. Right, going straight into today's card, another tricky card, I must add. Starting off in the Bipot, Zephos, he's got some good course and distance form, and I feel he should go close in this field today. Then trainer Stuart Ferry, he's given a fairly positive comment about his first timer Outrun the Rain. And I see there has been some money for the horse, so one needs to respect this. So for the Bipot, I think the 2 horses should suffice and should see us through the first leg.
Okay, so that is the numbers. The 2 Outrun the Rain. That is the Canford Cliffs out of a new approach, Make It Rain. And the 5 Zyphos, whose form really does jump off the page, especially those last 2. There it is. It's an outlay of 224 Rand, a couple of bankers in legs 2 and 3, which we will come across as we discuss the other exotics. As we move on to the start of our second exotic, which is the Place Accumulator, just to highlight that there has been a scratching come through. We are recording on a Wednesday morning for Wednesday midday. And in race 2, the first leg of that Bipot, a Task Force, who looked to be a possible improver, has been scratched, a small field of 7. In race number 3, no such problems, no scratchings that come through. This is an open maiden. The operative word being open. It's over the 1,400 meters. And again, we turn it to Mr. Mayhew. And the best bet in computer form, Len, is the 7 Blue Poppy, who certainly did catch the eye unfancied on a debut. And then there's the 4 American Gem, who also comes in with some decent form. The horse Light of Gabriel, I see, is expected to put up a decent post-maiden performance this afternoon.
Yes, Cecil, I agree with that. You know, Blue Poppy ran an absolute cracker on debut on the turf. And despite the fact that she's trying a poly for the first time, I mean, for me, she was so eye-catching. I don't foresee this being a problem for her. Then you've got Mrs. Stormiatrix. She can improve. Her local debut was pretty decent. And American Gem, they look the 2 most likely dangers. But if you draw a line through Light of Gabriel, then Blue Poppy appears to have American Gem safely held. So for me, she's a banker.
Banker, and of course our analyst doesn't agree, and the form does jump off the page, just as to replicate that first run. 160 Rand is what Len suggests as the full unit outlay for that Place Accumulator. And just a reminder of the time, it is an off time to race 3 of 1:05. Right, third exotic is that the Pick 6, and it is certainly going to be a very, very interesting Pick 6. And again, it is an open maiden that will see the start to that Pick 6. It's over the 1,400 meters. We do have an odds-on favorite, and that is from the stable of Mike and Matthew de Kock. Callum Murray retains the ride after a very decent debut when beaten by Chikorito. There was a stable companion who came out and won next time out. That is Johnny Boy, who had been behind Spanay River when they debuted. Now, as far as race number 4, do you take a chance in bankering? Because it does look trappy if you look beyond the 6-10 favorite, because you've got the likes of Susurrando, who looks to be an improver. Taste the Rainbow. You could go through this small field and make a case for most of them.
Cecil, yes, because of the tricky card, I mean, later on, we have to find bankers. And, this was Spahn Rafia. He finished a very creditable 3rd on debut. And if the extra 200 meters he tries today suits him, then he should be very hard to beat. The obvious danger would be the 5-horse, Cicerando, who did very well to finish third last time out from a poor draw. And he looks to be the biggest danger, along with Jet Blackfire, who showed some fair form before in his 4 runs to date. And he's since been gelded, so he's another one to consider. But as I say, we need bankers, and I'm prepared to go along with Spaan Rafiq as a banker in the pick 6.
Thank you, Lennon. Looking at that pick 6, if we can just have the confidence, and it does justify our confidence, I think it could be at our mercy, this pick 6, to give us a springboard into what comes up next tomorrow, the Vaal. Then it's back to PE on Friday. All right, so that's an outlay of 2,240 Rand. Please take note of the off time to race 4, 1345. Halfway stage of this 9-race program on the Poly this afternoon will be race number 5, and we're still in the maiden ranks. This is a maiden plate over the 1,600 meters, and here we've got the likely favorite in the form of number 2, Call Me Wind, having a first run for the Gareth Van Zyl stable, formerly with the Mace Roberts stable, and it is Callum Murray from a good draw of 2, has been on the Poly track once, and it was an encouraging second. 10, Take Your Best Shot, one of a couple that will be in the colours of that very popular ownership of the Andrades and Gasco, is a 13-5 stable companion, easier to back at 13-2, and that is 8 captainship. Now, I've done the talking this side. The colours of our favourite in race 4 are back on number 5, and that is this time under the tutelage of Dean Calamere. Craig Zaki is the pilot aboard the stable jockey to Dean Calamere. Drilon Den Punt, I believe, is how you pronounce that particular spot. A very, very significant spot. 3 countries in one spot you can be in, and that is in Europe somewhere. Belgium, Netherlands, and I believe Germany. Glenn, where do you rate it?
Cecil, there appear to be a few runners who look to have winning chances. I think the main 4 being Call Me Wild, Dreeland and Punt, Captainship, and Take Your Best Shot. Best of these, though, could be the 2-horse Call Me Wild. He seems overdue for her win, he's got a good barrier position. He's holding form well, and he's got the informed jock Callum Murray aboard. So I think he's going to be a big runner. I have played a little bit differently. I've banked him in the jackpot because of the size of the perms, and I have covered him in the pick 6. So it's a little bit of a different play today, but he is definitely the one to beat in this field.
Okay, so that is the 2 on stable debut. Lightly raced, so they'll only be having an 8th outing so far, placed on the 4 of those 7 previous occasions. That's race 5, jackpot 1, off at 14.20. On to race number 6 and 9, runner field carded for this Galloper.co.za Apprentice D Stakes. So this renders our second apprentice contest, and it's over the 1,800 meters this time. And again, it looks quite competitive. The favorite, easy to back. It could be the one Connoisseur, who's the favorite at the start. 33-10 was the last price I saw. Trent Mayhew is aboard. And then you've got the other who is in contention, and that is 6 King Bavarian, who win a penultimate run back. And that is at 7-2. Meets again some of the rivals, and the best of, as far as the rivals are concerned, is the 9 Blazing Light, and that's half a kilo better off than a King Bavarian. And of course, beg your pardon, Galaxy Explorer. That is actually 5.5 kgs better off than a King Bavarian. Where do you rank the likes of Banzai Pipeline, Mr. Mayhew?
Cecil, yes, to me this is a very wide open race, and I suggest loading up in the exotics. King Bavarian looks to have a good chance as he does well at this course, so you can expect a decent run from him. But as you touched on, Banzai Pipeline, the old-timer, he's dropped from a 76 rating down to a 65, and surely he's got to have a good chance in a field of this caliber. So for me, he's should be each way bet in this race. But in saying that, it's very, very open race.
Very open race indeed.
Open exotics.
All right, so you have the field barring the 7. Animal Impact in that first leg, and then 5 and 10, which were our bankers in the pick 6 at the back. And that's a 560 Rand outlay to this race 6 and Apprentice D Stakes, and that's off at 14.55. Well, at the moment, we're down to 7 runners for race and number 7 after the scratchings of the 5 Sheshan Tombi and the 8, I beg your pardon, Ovation Star. So let me stress numbers 5 and 8 are out. Leaves us a field of 7. And the runner we touched on when we did come on air was the 2 Light of Gabriel, who graces the cover of Computer Form as a likely improver in those famous silks of our champion breeders for season gone by. And that is the Drockenstein stud. Saddled by Dean Canamere, Craig Zaki is aboard. One is maiden with Marco, who was deputizing for Craig at the time. And Len, you reckon Light of Gabriel has a future ahead of it?
Yes, certainly, Cecil. But as you said, there's only 7 runners, but it doesn't make it any easier. It's very competitive. I feel that the Cape filly Rahaba has some decent form to her credit. Most notable being her penultimate run when she finished just over a length behind Viva La Vida, who came out and scored her 3rd successive win last week at Durbanville. So she's got to have a big chance. Then you've got the 9-horse Copacabana, who's in good form. And again, I'm expecting a big run from her. Then obviously, Light of Gabriel, she's only had a couple of runs, so she definitely has scope for improvement. And others to include would be She's a Machine and One Path.
Well, and indeed, it is a trappy. Generally small fields, but very competitive. And case in point is race number 7, in spite of being reduced to 7 runners from the original 9. 2, 3, 6, 7, and 9. That's the suggested trifecta boxed from our analyst, Mr. Len Mayu. B Stakes, that will be race number 8 over the 1,000 meters. And in this B Stakes, certainly 1 or 2 that do have valid claims to that favoritism. Case in point of being your current favorite, quite short on the odds last night, and that is the 3 Major Tommy from the Garth Puller stable. Calvin Abib gets to ride for the first time. Also in contention as far as the markets go, the 8 of Future Flow after winning last time out. Took a little break, reunited with the regular pilot Rachel Fennicker for the stable of Mesa Roberts, and will be bidding for win number 6 from 27 outings. And this will only be a second Polly win if she should come back and make it a win, or he should come back and make it a win on that return from that break, but has placed on other occasions. Right, Major Tommy, I remember winning. The maiden win was one of the most memorable that I have seen in a long, long time. It's as if was dropped into the race in the last 10 meters, and that was at the second time of asking. And Garth was really quite upbeat, and he's a very cool character, but very upbeat about Major Tommy. Are you in the same camp?
Cecil, for me, it's a very competitive race, and yes, I agree with you. Major Tommy's come right back to his best, and he's going to be a big runner here. But it doesn't stop there. There's quite a few in with chances, so I've played wide. I've gone along with the filly or the mare, Princess Hannah. She was a bit unlucky last time. She got a bump as they came out the pens, and she probably just needed the run. And she loves the Gravel 1,000-meter poly, so I expect a big run from her. But as I say, in saying that, there's plenty others in with chances. Future Flow, Mojo Man is back over the 1,000, which seems to be his best distance. Connery, you can't ignore, and then Mr. Henley. So I make it a wide open race.
All right, so an open looking penultimate race. The last double starts with race number 8. We've got a suggested swinger box of 3, 4, 7, and 8. Princess Hannah being one that was given a bit of airtime by Len there. That's from the stable of Paul Gatsby. Tristan Gordon, who had a very good Sunday, is back in the saddle. That'll be an off time of 4:05. Okay, so no prizes for guessing what 2 horses I'm going to focus on as far as the betting is concerned. But just to confirm, number 6, Perfume Power, is a non-runner. That leaves us a field of 10. One of our bigger fields this afternoon at Hollywood Bets Greyville. We'll be racing on the Poly. Now, the 2 runners in question are the 5 Counter Attack, Sean Veal, Candice Bass, my apologies, and number 10, a Rainbow Reward, that will be in form Giresh Samo Bhatia for the Kumaran Naidu stable. This is a Rafif, a 6-year-old son of Rafif, bidding for win number 3 from 23 outings. Pray tell, Len, you have put your eggs in 2 baskets. Hopefully those 2 baskets will produce the winner.
Yes, Cecil. Look, the race does look to have an open appearance again, as one can see by the betting. But sometimes we seem to look too deep into these things, and the right horses seem to come up trumps. I'm hoping that's the case, and I'm going along with the Inform Rainbow Reward. He's placed in all four runs, his last four runs at Greyville over the 12, and now he's over the 1,000, which both of his wins have come via the 1,000 meters. So I think he's got to be a big runner. And then the 5 counter attack, he had to ease badly in the latter stages of his last race. And if he takes to the poly track, he could be a big runner. So I'm going along with those two as the main two, counter attack and Rainbow Reward.
Len, thank you so much for taking time out for giving us your selections, giving us your selections. And there it is. It is a suggested trifecta 5 and 10 by 1, 4, 7, 8, and 11, and that will cost you a 30 rand. A nice way to try and get out of it if things have gone south throughout the afternoon. That's Len Mayhew giving us his thoughts on the Greyville Poly meeting starting at 12 o'clock. 9 races on the card. We look forward to more on a Friday. Thank you so much, Len.